welcome to Bad Dice, the UK's first Warhammer Fantasy Battle podcast. We bring you news, reviews and updates from all around the UK tournament scene. Your hosts are Ben Curry and Ben Johnson. We hope you enjoy the show, and if you do, be sure to let us know. You can contact us on thebens@baddice.co.uk or leave a positive review on iTunes. Okay, welcome to episode 52 of the Bad Dice podcast. And we're back again after another tournament weekend, or 3 in a row now, isn't it?
3 in a row, and you can probably hear the fact that it's been 3 in a row.
Yeah, we're both a bit croaky.
Both a bit rough, aren't we?
Okay, so before we get into the meat and two veg of the episode, we'll just give a quick shout out to our sponsors. And we're going to start with Rankins HQ, because we've spent a lot of time this weekend with Andrew, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
He's been up for the Winter Incursion event with his video camera in hand, and
bought us pizza too.
Yeah, which is always good. So that's it. If you're a sponsor and you want to be read out first,
buy us
pizza.
Simple.
That one might actually work as well. Well, next time we see Brian, he'll be listening.
All right.
Buy us pizza. Yeah. So it's all good. So yeah, Rankins HQ, Rankins HQ TV will be out this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, look forward to it. I think you said around the 18th or something like that. It should be up for viewing, a 30 to 45 minute episode covering Winter Incursion, the Australian Masters, and then some random 40k and War Machine stuff. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
I am as well. What did he say? He brought 2 64 gig memory cards with him at the weekend and filled the pair of them.
Filled them at the weekend at the event. So he's got loads and loads of content.
Yeah.
So from what we can gather, as well as there being an episode every month, there's also going to be loads of short clips on the website. So in the main episode, you'll see like a clip of an interview with someone. And then, so if you want to see the full interview, you can go to the website and view the rest of it. Stuff like that's going to be up there. So yeah, check them out. Go to rankinshq.com and follow them on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Probably the best place to get all the updates.
But whatever you do, don't let him stand by your table and film.
Why?
Because the dice go to shit.
Do they really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so...
Honestly, man, every game you stood there watching me, and it was just like... bleh.
Rubbish dice, you go away.
Guns, go away.
Okay, so next up we have Unseen Lurker. Have you had a good read of the latest issue yet?
No, because you're not giving it me.
Haven't you? Well,
No.
I'll give it you today and you can take it home with you.
You're a bad man.
Look. I've had a read through it. I really like it. I think it's the best one they've done. Hopefully, well, it's the end of the first year, so hopefully it's the start of things to come for the next year and just the benchmark to go from there. One of the things they did want me to give a shout out to was the fact that they've given away an army. So was it 2 armies? The Mantic Games competition. They're giving away a complete army to subscribers. So anyone who subscribes to Unseen Lurker magazine, so that means anyone taking out a subscription for the next 12 months, or anyone renewing the subscription who's already with them, will be entered into this competition, and to win a complete painted army, which is quite nice.
Painted army?
Yep, complete painted army.
Do you get to choose which army?
One of the ones used in the battle report.
Oh, what, the High Elves for the Undead?
Yeah, I think that's
nice.
right. So yeah, you can go on the... I think it's the Dwarfs and Undead.
Dwarfs and Undead.
So you can go on the website and check it out anyway. I'm sure we got it all wrong and Brian will shout at us, but you get the gist. Check out unseenlurker.com and all the details will be on there. I think it's in the latest issue of the magazine as well, so check out issue 6 of Unseen Lurker. It's filled with some great stuff. We touched on it last week.
Yes.
Wayne Kemp's article on converting a Skaven, what is it, a Warlitter?
So, it's the Bonebreaker, Warlord on a Bonebreaker.
That was my highlight, that's for sure.
It's really good, apart from it's awful in the game.
Yes.
Can't go anywhere, it just gets canned.
Yeah, of course, which is a shame, but you know what Wayne's like, he doesn't really care about that, does he? So, check them out. You can download a quarter of the magazine on the website, so go to unseenlurker.com and have a look. Okay, next up, we have Battle Foam, still waiting on our bags.
Come on, Romeo.
We've ordered them, but they're coming halfway across the world, so we don't mind waiting a bit. Looking forward to getting it.
I kind of want mine for Christmas.
You want it for Christmas?
Yeah.
Christmas Day, opening it, putting your figures in, ignoring all your other presents.
Exactly.
So anyone who doesn't know what Battle Foam is, they're basically the best gaming transportation system on the market as far as we've seen.
Yes.
Better than the Games Workshop stuff, I think.
Yeah.
The fact that you could fit more models in the same sort of space.
I was having a good look at Brian's again at the weekend, and showing it off to a few people who we were stood around discussing just general cases, and we got onto the subject of Battle Foam, and it's impressive stuff, isn't it?
Mm. So next up, you can check them out at battlefoam.com. Next up, we've got Odd Games. The Odd Games Massive were missing this weekend, weren't they?
Yeah, and they sacked off Derby as well, didn't they?
Yeah, which is a real shame because of the snow. But let's not detract that from the Odd Games store because that was still operating through the snow.
Yes.
So you can check them out at oddgames.co.uk. They sell all sorts of wargaming related products. Everything Games Workshop is 15% off, which is some great prices there. I mean, you can get pretty much anything you want from them. I mean, one of the things they do like to push is the board games. They've got a big selection of them, so you can check them out. Odd Games, not much more to say on them, really. Check them out. They're quite cheap and a really nice website.
Cheap, good service, good website. What more can you want?
Okay, so last but not least, we have Back to Basics. Now, last week we spoke about the fact that we'd been sent a goodie bag of all different stuff from Back to Basics. And we'd had a play with them. We'd not actually built them, had we? We'd not actually assembled the stuff we got, but we'd had to play around with it. After the show had finished, I literally shut the laptop, and then what you cleared off, I sat gluing mine together and assembling them. The magnet sheet in the bottom of the bases is the best magnet sheet I've got.
Yeah,
I've
got steel. It's the steel paper. It's not the magnetic stuff, is it? Yeah,
I've got 20 mil Blackguard in one of the Back to Basics movement tray using the Games Workshop bases with magnets in the bottom of the Blackguard. So I've used rare earth magnets, which Back to Basics will supply with the trays if you order them. And I can hold the whole unit upside down. And this is this 5th edition really heavy ones.
I did the same thing with Skaven Globadiers. 2 magnets in the bottom of a Globadier, and you can easily pick it up, turn it upside down, no bother.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Yeah,
so the actual trays, they're the perfect size. Can't fault them at all. They are spot on. They're the best. They are the best things I've seen. Like we spoke about, it is a bit more pricey than buying all the materials yourself. But after actually assembling one and seeing how short a time it takes to make them, it's just there's nothing else on the market that will compete with it.
No.
So check them out. It's backtobase-ix.com or just Google Back to Basics, and you'll find them. Okay, so. We're going to go for a short break, then we're going to get into the main episode, and we're going to talk about basically what's in the news over the last few weeks.
Yep.
Hey dudes, just want to take a minute to tell you about the next big thing in wargaming. Rankings HQ is the new home for not only rankings across all game systems, but the latest social networking site for gamers around the world, including articles, image galleries, and heaps more. Create an account, track your personal progress, and compare results amongst friends and other gamers worldwide. Think you're the best gamer in town? Prove it at rankingshq.com. Join today.
Okay, so a short break, and now we're going to dive straight into the news. So what's been in there and what's caught your eye, Ben?
Well, we touched slightly on the Orcs incoming, I think, last episode.
We're not sure if it was before or after the last episode, but the Games Workshop newsletter's gone out, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And basically Orcs incoming March.
Yeah, confirmed for March. No details on...
We don't know if it's just figures or if it's an army book.
Well, no, it's... The army book was confirmed as having a new army book in the email.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Nothing about any new figures or anything. There was a bit at the bottom of the email about what plastic kits were staying and which weren't. And the boys are staying the same, but the Wolf Riders were missing off there. So people have been sort of musing as to whether that means they're getting a new Wolf Rider kit.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
It would, yeah.
The
internet seems to think that Savage Orc plastics are the way to go, and lots and lots of people wanting plastic squigs.
Oh, plastic squigs would be amazing. Not just for the Orc army, just for every army.
Yeah.
There's so many conversion possibilities. Imagine your demon armies using plastic squigs, and it would be good.
It would. They'd be, like you say, a very useful addition. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, we can only hope.
March.
Okay, so other stuff that's caught my eye since I've been trolling the net recently. Tabletop Gaming News. It's a big website. Anyone that don't know it, it's basically is what it says. Tabletop Gaming News. They have a yearly vote for the best models, and that's up at the moment. So I've had an hour this morning looking at different models on there, and some lovely stuff.
Is it just the stuff that's been released this year then?
Yes.
Okay.
And the big one is the stuff coming out of Studio McVeigh.
Right.
They seem to be winning sort of every category it's in. It's top, first or second. So we've just had a quick look at them, so you can see what's in there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
There's some very nice stuff, some very weird stuff as well.
Not
Big booby thing is a bit bizarre.
Nothing from Warhammer, is there?
No,
there's 40K,
some 40k stuff, but no Warhammer in the fantasy section.
which is I don't know. Can you think of a model?
But then, other than the Island of Blood and the new High Elves, there was the Beastmen in the start of the year. What else has there been?
And I can't think that any of the Beastmen were really like fantastic figures.
No, the Dark Lord dude, the special character with the wings, the wizard, that's quite a nice figure, but it's not awesome.
There hasn't been anything amazing. I mean,
The Island of Blood stuff is.
oh yeah, but it's not one figure, is it? It's a box
That's
set
true.
with you buy it all.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one, but yes, 40K's been smashing it.
Yeah, well, when we're looking on there, I mean,
The Blood Angels and the Dark Eldar.
Sanguinian Guard, Guard, or whatever. I mean, they're just amazing. Absolutely incredible. And yeah, the Dark Eldar, stunning stuff.
Okay, so the other big news is the Masters invites have just gone out this morning.
This morning, yeah.
Yes.
I've not had one.
You've not had one. You should have had one.
That must be bad.
Yeah. So the top 16 has been announced. Congratulations to Russ Veal.
Russ Veal, number one
First
for
place
the year.
at the end of the year. So second was Anthony Spears.
Spears, yeah.
Third place was, I'm still in here because
You
I
can't
can't
find it,
actually
can you?
remember. Third place was Dan Heelan. Fourth place was Nick Pym. Fifth place was...
He's having a complete computer fail. He's gone to just everything wrong. Here we go. So
Okay, so Russ Veal, Anthony Spears, Dan Heelan, Nick Pym, The Bobo, Michael Biggs, Ben Curry, me, Ben Johnson.
me, and that was by 0.002.
I don't know. I just know I'm above.
Bastard.
Chris Legg, Martin Furnival. First year for Martin.
Yes,
First
well
year for
done,
Nick
Martin.
Pym as well, up in fourth place. Jack Armstrong, also his first year. Will Goodwin, Andrew Isherwood, Keith Wilkinson, Andrew Chesney, and in 16th, Adam Hall.
So Adam Hall makes it by the fact that Keith Wilkinson won it last year.
Yeah.
Well done, Adam. You're my hero.
To be fair, I'd imagine it's normal that the current holder would make this top 16 on it.
He's going to be there and thereabouts, isn't
Yeah.
he? As long as he carries on playing, you would imagine. But yeah, no, it's a good selection, isn't it?
Yeah, so looking at that list and looking at the form book at the moment, shout out has to be given to Matt Howley in 17th place because Ant Spears has moved to Australia.
Yeah, so he can't make it.
And he's already said he's not going to be back.
Yeah.
He was thinking he might be back over Christmas for a month or so. So there's a possibility he could have attended, but he's not going to be. So 17th place, Matt Howley is going to get an invite as well. And if any more decide not to come,
we need one more for Wildman, don't
Mark
we?
Wildman will be getting in, so that'll be good. I'd be pleased at that really because it is two guys who have been attending a lot of tournaments this year, done quite well, and they're just on the
cusp.
Yeah. So that's the Masters. I'm looking forward to it. So looking at the list, who do you think? Who's your tip for greatness?
What about some best icons? Who's got what?
Oh, now you're asking. So Russ Veal had the Vampires icon. Ant Spears had the High Elves.
Yep.
Dan Heelan had the Lizards. Nick Pym had the Demons. So the top four all had an icon.
Yeah.
Then we're going to move down to myself in 7th. I had the Dark Elf one. You in 8th were the only person with two icons. You had the Empire and the Orcs.
I know. That's why I asked.
And then moving down from there, I don't think... Oh, Andrew Chesney had the Skaven, which he got, I think, at like the first event of the year, and he's kept it all year.
I think he had that from Sheffield... the GT,
Sheffield, the GT, and Merseyside. So it was like
it
three
got that
events
sort of
in.
locked in, hadn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, it's good to see. I was surprised that there was only one person with 2 icons, and you'd managed to snatch the Orc one at what, the second to last event of the year, and then hang on to it.
No, I'd had it for a while, I think. I don't know, to be honest with you.
I thought you'd lost the Orc one because you'd not been playing with him, and then you took him to your 3 events, which was the GT, not the GT,
count.
sorry, Warrington.
No, to Empire to Warrington.
Come on, throw a bone here. Where did you go? You didn't have it, and then you've took it back.
I went to... God, where did I take it? I took it to Tempest. Cardiff was Empire.
And then you took it to Unseen Lurker last weekend.
Lurker,
and then
Open War. This one.
So it's a late show and end of the year to snatch the one back.
I think, though, that I had it after Tempest because I'd got some...
From last year
that hadn't been erased yet. I know
that makes sense.
Me and Matt Yayo, we were having a bit of a chat on Saturday morning about it because I think he was 3 points behind me on the Orc icon.
And you played each other, didn't you?
Yeah, we ended up playing each other in game 3, so that was quite fun. So yeah, Matt needed, because Matt went to Firestorm for was it the Border Princes last weekend, same weekend as Derby?
Yeah. And
got a good score from that.
And you were nervous?
Because I didn't realise he'd gone to that. I'd looked at it and thought, oh, should be all right here. I can't see it unless Matt sort of wins Winter Incursion. Should be fine. Completely forgot that he was going to this event in Cardiff. So yeah, 3 points behind, and then we played each other, and it was the gayest game of Warhammer. It was brilliant.
So for those that don't know, the Masters is going to be on the 15th and 16th of January, and it's held at Maelstrom Games.
Yeah.
Now, for the first time, we're also running the 40k Masters. Josh Roberts has been organising that, and the invites for that one has gone out. If you want to find out who's been invited, you can get yourself on the Warhammer forum, look in the 40k section. It's all on there. There's also going to be side events in both Warhammer and 40k. So if you fancy coming along, seeing what it's all about, there's a Warhammer side event on.
Share a hotel room with your mate who's in one of the Masters.
Exactly. So yeah, come along to the side event. You can buy tickets from rankingshq.com. So yeah, we hope to see you all there. So that's the news. We're going to have another break, and then we're going to go into our Fortnights in Fantasy.
Cool.
Back to Basics and our proud sponsors of the Bad Dice Podcast. Based in Adelaide, Australia, they serve both the national and international gaming communities with quality resin products. If you visit www.backtobase-ix.com, you can view all their fantastic products, which includes resin bases, terrain, modular gaming tables, and even a wide variety of movement trays to suit all shapes and sizes for your 8th edition armies. The Back to Basics movement trays come in pretty much any size you could possibly need. If you find something that you want and it's not on their website, they'll even make it for you. The Back to Basics resin bases come in all different themes to suit any fantasy army. Designs include brick, cobblestone, desert, dirt, dungeon stone and forest, amongst many more. So if you like what you hear and fancy picking up some of the Back to Basics range, visit www.backtobase-ix.com. When you go to the checkout, insert the code BADDICE and you'll receive a 10% discount. That's www.backtobase-ix.com. Okay, so Fortnite in Fantasy. The biggest thing was really we ran the Destruction Derby, didn't we?
And went to a tournament.
Well, we're going to have a feature on that later. Sorry, you caught me off guard with that. I was thinking which tournament, and obviously Winter Incursion, but we're going to talk about that later in the episode as a feature, you imbecile.
How am I the imbecile?
Okay, so I've wrote the show notes right in front of you. Look, different. Okay, there goes the show notes. Okay, so yeah, the Destruction Derby, first Saturday in December, same as usual, and it was quite a fun event this year, wasn't it?
It was,
made more fun by the snow.
Yeah, the snow sort of made us struggle a few with the entrance, didn't we? We lost, the odd guys didn't come, there was 4 of them and a few others, so we ended up with a field of 16?
Yeah, 16 players. No, 14 players.
14 players.
And it's quite a small, relaxed event.
Yeah, I mean, we said on the day, didn't we? It was very much of the previous few years' worth of Masters that we'd done at the same venue at the Legion in Allington. Just a few tables set out with lots of room around, and like you say, nice, relaxed, friendly feel.
And so we put some unusual stuff in, like we normally do.
Yeah.
Started off with 3 scenarios out of the rule book, not the small rule book though. They're out of the big rule book.
Yeah.
And do you remember what they were called? Because they all had funky names.
Not a clue.
Basically, the
Game 1 was the one where you split the table into 6 squares, and you each put a unit down. You roll off. See who puts one down first. You can go in any square. A lot of people were thinking you could only go in the 3 on your side of the board, but you couldn't. You could go anywhere. So you put your 3 units down, and then you can put up to 3 characters down as well, 1 in each unit. And then your units come on as a reserve along the board edge of any of your squares, and you play the game as normal.
Yep, and that was interesting. I was walking around after the first 10 minutes thinking, oh, it's going to be all game over. Like, someone's wiped out his opponent's army before it's all turned up.
Yeah.
So, oh, this is going to be over in 5 minutes. And then they were still there battling when I'm trying to call dice down.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some interesting results from that one. The second scenario, Ben?
Can't remember.
You're rubbish.
Oh, yes, I can. It was the one with the cursed dwarfy sounding name with the monument in the middle of the board.
Yeah, that's the one. It was like an arcane monument in the centre of the table you had to fight over, like the Watchtower style thing.
But it gives you your wizards...
Is it the Ziggurat of Doom or something?
Something like that, yeah. It gave you wizards ward saves and extra spells and all sorts. Man, I didn't see anyone actually cast that extra spell.
No, neither did I.
You cast it on a 4, you put the big template down, scatter it, whatever it touches takes 2d6 strength 4. And then it whooshes back up into the sky.
Yeah, and it can suck a wizard up with it.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone cast it. I was very disappointed.
So that wasn't too wildly out of the ordinary, was it? It's basically a capture scenario.
It's a capture scenario, yeah.
And then the last one was, I thought was the most fun one, was the Battle Royal.
Yeah, it was sort of made up from the rules where it's supposed to be for a multiplayer game. So you can have one player in the middle and then 4 or 5 players around the outside. And it's all about scoring more points than your opponent. You get points for killing your generals and your battle standards.
Like objective points rather than victory points.
So obviously the guy in the middle only gives away 2, but can capture up to sort of 6 or 8. But has got a smaller army. And we sort of changed it around slightly so that you could do it as a 2-player game. So one player sets up in the middle, and then the other player gets set up anywhere out of, I think it was 18 inches of him, or 10 inches of him, all the way around the edge of the board. But again, a lot of people didn't quite manage that, did they? No,
I think people just like, I can't bother to walk all the way around the table. I'll just sit here with my army.
Yeah. Either that or they didn't read the scenario. But still, people seem to have fun with it.
Yeah, they did.
There's some good armies as well, wasn't there?
Because we had allies, so 25% of your army could be just made up from another army book. Only one other. You couldn't pick and choose from 3 or 4. But it also had to fit into your points allotment. So if you've got 25% of your lords, you could have another lord in there from another book, but it still has to fit in your 25% of lords. And there was some fun stuff. What did you see?
Well, the one that we gave out our best army award to was the High Elf army, wasn't it? With Alathanar and then Shades and Assassins out of the Dark Elf book.
Yeah.
Which...
It sounds like all High Elves and Dark Elves, but it was quite theming, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. What else was there? There was an orc army with a tree man, which I wasn't quite sure on.
No, that was a bit of a strange one.
Yeah. There was Rob Downey's demon army with Hydra and Shades. Oh, sorry, Hydras and Shades.
2 Hydras and 15 Shades.
Yeah. That was a bit insane. And the winner in the end was Singe Frost, wasn't he? With just
pure
with Beastmen, yeah.
Yeah, and second place was just a straight army as well, because it was vampires with a zombie dragon of all things.
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
And who was third place?
Can't remember.
Was it Luke? Did Luke Rooney get third place in the end?
Can't remember.
I can't. Let me double check. Let me use my skills of the internet and find out. Look, you've got to love our organisation.
Our preparation.
For this episode.
Yeah, we are awesome.
So what else did you see? What about Best Painted?
Best Painted went to Carl
Bagnall with
Skaven. With
his
Skaven army.
What was in the? Do you remember what was in this Skaven army?
2 abominations.
No, painting wise, why was it voted?
I think because of the abominations.
Yeah, there were like scratch built things.
Scratch built things. One of them was made out of a steam tank. So basically, just steam tank shell with then this big spawny rat worm climbing out of it. And actually, there you go.
Yeah, it was Carl. Carl came third. Carl came third with Skaven and got best painted vote. Best army went to Dan Broxhome for his is high. Well, that was the judge's choice. And best sports was Steve Wren.
Only because he was blasted.
Yeah, he was blasted, wasn't he?
Have we spoke about this? I'm sure we have.
No.
When they rang, because it's British Legion, they're a bit funny, and they rang the bell for like last orders at sort of 2:00 in the afternoon because the sort of bar closes for a few hours and then fires back up again at 6. So the bell goes, and it's like, oh, panic. He's still got a full pint in front of him. Runs off and buys 2 more.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to run out before the end.
No. So, that is a good event. We recorded while we were there. We've got a good hour's worth of bonus content.
Yeah.
Went up in the Snake Eyes section. Interviews with people like Luke talking about the
Midlands Open,
Midlands
actually,
Open
wasn't he?
for next year. Steve Wren talking about just... He had an epic game of... it was Steve was using his demons. He was playing against a high-elf guy in the middle of the board. It was Craig from the Derby Club.
Yeah.
And I was watching their game, and they had a right battle, and they came on and chatted about what they thought to the scenarios and things like that. And a few other guys from during the day all chatted with us. So it's quite a good bonus content episode, that one. So check it out. Sign up to
10 minutes with Singe as well at the end. Talking about Beastman.
Yeah, of course, Singe spoke about how he rocked the Beastman to first place and what was in the list and how he made them work. So if anyone's interested in Beastman, I know I had a few emails after I'd put the results up saying what was the Beastman army. You can check that out, and he talks all about it. So that was the Destruction Derby. And what else have you been doing in your Fortnite fantasy other than Winter Incursion?
Played a couple of games. Who did I play?
You don't know.
I think when I say a couple of games, I think it was actually only one game, and then one game on Friday before Winter Incursion. I played Pete Foley, got the Empire back out again, playing against his Skaven, killed an Abomination first turn. That was nice.
I bet that felt good, didn't it?
It's been a while since I've killed an Abomination. Yeah, turns out they don't like big fireballs and volley guns and crossbows.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
That ruins them quite quickly. In fact, in a turn.
Okay, so I've only had one practice game over the last 2 weeks, and that was using my Warriors of Chaos army that I ended up taking this weekend to the Winter Incursion event. So I decided I wanted to take Warriors after speaking to Asger on the internet. Old listeners have heard Asger on the show before. He's a Danish guy, quite a good player, and he'd come up with this idea of a big chosen.
Quite a good player.
I'm
sure he'll appreciate quite a good player.
He will. That's high praise coming from me. So he'd come up with this army idea of the chosen Death Star, like 26 or 27 of them or something, with 2 war shrines, Terror banner on them, so you sort of guarantee you're going to get your 3 award. Guarantee is a bit of a loose term.
This is not a guarantee.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, we're brilliant at the ETC because it's dead defensive, you won't give no points away. And I was like, I've got a totally victory points based game tournament coming up. What should I take? That Warriors Chaos Army looks like fun, so I decided to take that. Probably the wrong choice of army for the event, but I thought it'd be a laugh to use it, so off I went. So my one practice game.
Another disclaimer: this army is not fun.
Yeah. So my one practice game was against Chris Taylor, who was using another Death Star build army, which was 36 White Lions. A level 4 with a load of toys, 3 heroes, a few bolt throwers, 50 bowmen. Quite a tough build, and we rolled at Watchtower. Chris's face when we rolled at Watchtower was just a picture. He was like, "Oh, do you want to play that?" I was like, "We've rolled it up."
Yeah, he wasn't impressed, was he? I think he saw the 20 Zinch Warriors being a bit of an issue.
Yeah, winning the roll and starting in the building.
Yeah.
So the game was sort of it's tit for tat. I killed a few bits, he killed a few bits, and then about turn 3, I decided this is my first ever attempt of casting Gateway. Seemed to work quite well as I rolled the 12 and took off his 37 White Lions.
I thought he was going to explode.
Yeah, well, we left him on because we both drove for a game, you know what I mean, an hour's drive to have a game, and it would have been all over. So we left him on and finished the game, and I ended up finishing in the Watchtower, so that was quite good. And the Chosen was reduced to 2 men in the end, going toe-to-toe with the White Lions, killing all the White Lions, leaving the heroes alive. But he didn't get any points for the Chosen, which was nice because they are 700 points. They did get the 3 award before the game started, I think it was, so that was quite tasty. So yeah, went away from that thinking, yeah, I'm quite happy with this. The only real big...
You've got to roll a 6 on your Gateway and you're fine.
The only real big thing other than that, which happened, was a unit 10 bowmen doing 3 wounds to a war shrine in one volley. That's with 6s to wound,
Wow.
4s to hit, 6s to wound, 4 up armor, 4 up ward, 3 wounds. I'm like, Christ, that was impressive. Why don't my bowmen do that?
That's not bad, is it?
So, weekend of the tournament came along. Went up on the Friday night, didn't we, to have some games?
Well, we went up Friday lunchtime, didn't we?
Yeah.
I was, round here about 12:30
I was
with
the
chips and sausage?
First ever customer in the new Maelstrom Games bar.
Yeah.
Well, paying customer. I've got that's my claim to fame now. And we had a couple of games, didn't we? So who did you play?
I played Rooney. I was hoping to get a couple in, to be honest with you, but by the time I'd finished up with Rooney and Steve Wren had finished up with Chris Tomlin, it was like, it's nearly curry time. So yeah, I just got the one game against Rooney with his internet special.
So what was in his list?
A level 4 on Death, a level 2 on Metal, a Cauldron BSB, 2 units of Dark Riders, 2 units of Shades, 2 Blackguard, 2 Hydras, 1 Spearman. I think that's a lot.
Yeah. And how did the game go?
Same old thing really. Orcs, you need a bit of luck, you need a bit of dice, and it wouldn't happen for me. His Hydra just wouldn't die. It ended up it went into combat on 1 wound, and with 8 attacks on it, with War, strength 4, wouldn't die. Next round, same again, wouldn't die. I took 1 off in the first turn with a Rotlobber, 6 wounds. That was quite funny. Luke's face sort of dropped a little bit. But yeah, no, it was just everything was slightly less than it would have been nice to have had, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But again, such a strong list.
Yeah, you just struggle with it, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. And yeah, in the end, Luke won that quite comfortably, to be honest with you. He won it by 1,200. So yeah, it was a comfy win to Luke in the end.
So that was your only game on the Friday night,
That was
was
the
it?
only game on. Yeah, well, by the time we finished that, like I say, I was due to play Steve Wren because I've seen him a few tournaments. He's got Orcs and Goblins, and never had the chance to play him.
You wanted an orc off.
Orc off, yeah, nice
Yeah.
Friday night Orc off.
Well, I managed to get a couple of games in. First one was against Dan Broxhome with High Elf, so I'm thinking, this is going to be good. He'd not got no big game-ending spells, so I thought there's no chance of him killing all my characters and getting a win that way. I shouldn't have anything to worry about. I'll just push the Chosen at him with my army behind it. And that didn't seem to work too well.
The internet says...
So I managed to steal one of his spells with my third eye Zinch and brought the Comet down on like half his army in turn 1. And I must have killed like 20 bowmen from 3 units. 1 unit of 10 was wiped out totally. In fact, it was more than 20. It might have been close to 30. 1 unit of 10 was wiped out completely. 1 unit of 10 was reduced to 1 figure. And his big unit of 20, which might have been Seaguard, they just decimated them as well.
That's some special rolling. That
Oh,
isn't
yeah,
it?
2d6 hits, and it's just like 10, 9, 10, and you get +1, so...
Yeah.
And it's strength 5 as well, so it's quite good. And I'm thinking, this is fine, I'm going all right. And then I decided I'll charge my Chosen into some Dragon Princes, and then I'll chase them, and then I'll run off the table, and then we're playing Battle for the Pass. I'm off on one flank, and his White Lions just came up the middle and smashed me up. My Chosen didn't get back into the fight quick enough. And then I threw away my level 4, really. I was chasing my level 4 on a disc, only thing that flies or moves very far in the army, so I'm running around killing all these little crap units. Went into, I think I charged an Eagle, killed that, overran into a unit of bowmen, using my breath weapon, Stream of Corruption. So I smashed them, broke them, and then he just kept following me around, magicking me until I died, and eventually he did kill me with Searing Doom. Should have flown him away to safety, really.
Searing Doom will upset him, won't it?
Yeah, I've got a 3-up ward against everything, but it's not enough. Not when
Sooner
he
or
keeps
later.
casting it. Yeah, should have flown him away to safety, but it's like whatever. Friday night, we'll see what happens, and we find out what happened.
Searing Doom kills you level 4.
Yeah, and that was basically the points difference, taking it from like a 300-point win to me to a 200-point win to Dan.
So all this talk of I'm not going to give away any victory points, people are going to have the worst games of Warhammer they've ever had.
So 2 games in, failed, both of them.
Nice.
Yeah, so my plan for the weekend was give away no victory points in 3 of the 6 games. We'll talk about that in a bit. So my other game was against Paul Bridge, the Danish captain from last year of the ETC team. He came over all fired up with quite a filthy demon army with Bloodthirster, 12 Flamers, no big horror block, which he talks about on the bonus content show we recorded. 30 Bloodletters, 20 Demonettes, and that was about it.
Herald in each, wasn't it?
Yeah, Herald in each, two single fiends.
And a Tzeentch Herald with Shadow?
Death. Tzeentch Herald with Death. -2 leadership on the BSB. Solid army, really solid. And he hammered me. I pushed my Chosen forward, didn't get the ward save.
And you can see the whole of this hammering.
Yeah, Rankings HQ video.
TV. They filmed the whole game.
Yeah, so I pushed the Chosen forward, didn't get the ward save. I did have strength and attacks though, so when he siren songed me into the Demonettes, I thought I'll go in, there's only 20 of them, I'll pop them and do a combat reform, and then when the Bloodletters come in, I'll be fine. Bloodletters and Bloodthirster going in together, I'll kill so many Bloodletters that the Bloodthirster won't matter. Yeah.
So what actually happened was
I lost them all, every single one.
The Demonettes stayed. The
Demonettes,
Chosen,
I killed 6. I killed 6 Demonettes.
The Demonettes stayed. The Chosen stuck. Why did you still not combat reform out of interest?
Because it wouldn't have made a difference.
It would have kept the Bloodletters out of your rear.
Then I'd have the Demonettes in my rear.
No, if you just reform so you weren't as wide. Because you were 10 wide.
I thought I did think about that. What my thinking was,
no, you didn't.
I did because at the moment it was in the horde formation. I get more attacks into the. I suppose it wouldn't have mattered if he's in the back. I get more attacks anyway. Maybe I should have gone narrower. What it was, he was going in the back 10 wide. I thought if I'm 10 wide as well and I strike before him, it's more attacks.
Yeah, but he's got 30 odd of them,
and I had 30 of them.
No, you didn't.
20-ish.
I don't even think you had 20.
Anyway, by then I knew. Once I went into Demonettes and killed 6, and he killed just as many of me, I thought it's over now. It doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah, the Demonettes stuck. The Thirster went in the flank, and he had to get talked to. I had to talk him into putting the Bloodletters in the back.
Yeah, he wasn't going to, was he?
No.
And I think if he'd have put just the Bloodthirster in the side, there's a chance he'd have lost it.
Yes.
Because, I mean, he only has to roll bad on the Thunderstomp.
Yeah,
he only kills 6 or 7.
If you do the same with Demonettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he took them all off in one round of combat, and it was
he didn't even need to Thunderstomp.
No.
I was very disappointed. I was hoping you were going to get tabled.
No, didn't get tabled. I had a War Shrine and my level 4 left. It was all good.
Disappointing.
So, yeah, Paul give me a right kick in.
So, if you steal a list of somebody, you need to be what? Just push it forward? Is that how it works?
Need to read it and play with it.
You need to have a small amount of skill?
Yes,
possibly?
Small amount of skill. But I learned a lot on the Friday night from the 2 games. And to be honest, I kind of knew if the Chosen got into combat without the ward, I would lose them. Even in a front-on fight with the Bloodletters, I'd lose them eventually.
Yeah.
Or I'd kill all the Bloodletters but lose enough Chosen that like another front-on fight with something else and I'd lose the rest.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go into the Demonettes. I knew he'd siren song me. I wanted to go in and see how many I would kill.
Without your ward, don't you die just as easily as the Bloodletters?
The only difference is I'm weapon skill 6, so I'm hitting him on 3s. He's hitting me on 4s.
4s, yeah.
And I've got more attacks. He's got 1 attack a man. I've got 3 attacks if I go extra round weapons with my strength, or 2 attacks if I go for the halberds.
You can't choose though, can you?
Yep. Start of the round, I could choose between extra hand weapons or halberds, but I can't choose to go to hand weapon shield.
Ah, right. I'm with you. Yeah.
So yeah, that was an experience, and so that lined us up for a Saturday morning at the tournament.
Yeah. Well, we were going to go for a curry, weren't we?
Yeah, and we sacked it off in the end because it was 8 o'clock when we finished playing.
Yeah.
It was 9:30 when we decided that we've been here long enough, sat around, we want to go home and get some food.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm going to go for another short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the winter incursion. Hi guys, I just want to take a minute to tell you about an amazing new product from Battlefoam. It's the brand new Battlefoam Warhammer Fantasy trays. Battlefoam have recently released 40 of these trays, pre-cut to suit any of your fantasy army needs. If you have a huge monster, an amazing character, or wild conversion, you can also design your own tray using the Battlefoam Custom Tray Creator. You can get a unique custom tray to suit your unique custom army. Battlefoam also make a revolutionary range of bags called the Pack System. These bags are designed to carry your army in total safety no matter how big or small. There'll be a bag designed for exactly what you want. No matter what it is you need transporting, you can find the foam and bag to do it at battlefoam.com. Okay, so on to our main Winter Incursion coverage. So, for those that don't know, Winter Incursion's the one of the quarterly events held by Maelstrom Games at the venue Eye of the Storm in Mansfield.
That's right.
This one was 2,400 points, and basically bring what you like. No power scroll and 12 dice per magic phase cap.
No Book of Hoth either, was there?
No Book of Hoth as well.
Yeah.
How did that work for the High Elves? Yeah, not very well at all. Point reinforces my point on the fact that they don't need to have the Book of Hoth taken off of them.
You're wrong.
You think I'm wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Because I do.
Okay, well, you're talking out your arse.
I think if you're stopping one, why not stop the other that's exactly the same?
Because the High Elves aren't a top-tier army.
Okay, so why not then let the small tier armies have the power scroll?
It's fine, do that.
You banned it.
I haven't. The ETC's banned it, yeah, because of people wanting it banned. Yeah. Basically, they don't like the power armies bringing out the power scroll.
I think it's exactly the same argument with the High Elves.
No, it's not. Anyway, we're going to go round in circles forever because you don't know what you're talking about.
You're wrong.
Okay, so yeah, as we can see, Book of Hoth was banned. High Elves did nothing. So other than that, it's about the only restriction, wasn't it? It was 6 scenarios out of the rulebook in order.
Yeah.
The only difference was Blood and Glory in the Watchtower went for 6 turns, and whoever won the scenario got an additional 1,200 points added to the total.
Yeah.
Which was I quite liked.
I didn't think it worked for the Watchtower.
No, why not?
Because I found when I played that you either had to accept the fact that he was going to get the Watchtower and try and get points elsewhere, or try and get the Watchtower, but then you're losing so many points and not getting that much because you sacrificed to keep the Watchtower. I played Demon Army, it was always going to be a draw.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, whereas I'd kept the biddle in, it was a draw. So I'm not sure it works well for that one.
Okay, maybe you're right there. I certainly liked it in the Blood and Glory one.
Yeah.
Although mine didn't matter because we'll get to that in a bit. It was a good game, that one.
I still wonder, though, if in the Blood and Glory, if it's too many points.
Maybe.
Because you're still playing a normal game for 6 turns.
But it means that if you break your opponent, you probably win the game, which if you're playing the proper scenario, you definitely win the game. Okay. Anyway, so first game, who did you draw?
I played Graham Birchall, I think his name is. No, Graham Bussell. There we go. I almost got it right. I'm awesome. With Lizard Man. He had an Ethereal Slam, knowing all of life. No surprise there. 4 blocks of Saurus, a couple of skink skirmishers. No, chameleons actually there were. 2 Sallies, an Ancient Steg with blowpipes, an all-action superhero BSB on a cold one. Yeah,
you see a lot of them nowadays.
Yeah.
I think everyone dropped them once the new edition came out and they couldn't get a look at Sirs. But they've slowly been finding the way back in.
Well, he's running around with silly armour, ward, charm shield, banner, stubborn. Yeah, he's going nowhere till you drop a rock on him.
Stubborn crown on him. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that was Graham's army really, and it was just push it forward and fight really. I went first, and by the end of my turn 2, everything apart from 1 unit of spiders and the 2 war machines was fighting.
Wow, that was a bit crazy.
Then it bounced.
You bounced?
Yeah, Guns were stood there watching me. It's his fault, I'm telling you. Yeah, no, he double won the against the Black Hawks, which are at like the end of the flank. Do you know what I mean? Ready to beat up them Saurus and then back down the line to help out his mates. He double won that, and then the rest just sort of held a bit, didn't do that much, so he passed, and then a bit of a grind fest, which I kind of expected really with the Orc blocks, and that's why I thought the Black Hawks would be fine to come in the flanks and help out, but didn't quite work out that way. Stegonon got magicked, shot, and then a pump wagon went in, did nothing with the impact hits, and then a Snotling took its last wound off, which was ever so funny. I almost lost my general's unit because I made a silly mistake. Again, combat reform. Big.
What, you missed one that you could have done and should have?
Yeah, I charged the all-action adventure hero with that before I knew he was stubborn. I knew he was going to be like a tank, but I thought I can win by 3 or 4, maybe break him. And then whips out the stubborn crowd. It's like, oh, he's going nowhere. And I didn't combat reform, so it meant the Unitosaurus could go in the side. And it was only the fact that the pump wagon had killed the Stegodon, or the Snotling had killed the Stegodon, that the pump wagon could go in the back of those Saurus. And
oh, wow. Get out of jail.
Yeah, get out of jail. His Slan lost combat by 2, when the Squigoppers went in the flank of him, charged him in the flank. Obviously can't hurt him because he's ethereal.
He didn't do it back.
He didn't do anything
back. His BSB's elsewhere.
BSB was elsewhere, but he passed that and then passed the reform as well, so that was nothing was going to happen there. And in the end, it was a big draw. It was 1,700 plays 1,600.
Wow, a bit bloody then.
Bit bloody, yeah. So we both got a fair amount of points out of it as well, because the scoring system's based on victory points.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a good game.
Good stuff. Well, my first game, I played Kaz from the Black Sun. The Black Sun guys have been ever present at the tournaments this year, and Kaz is one of the new boys to their club. And I played him before. I played him at War Out West down in can't remember where it was now. Down Swindon Way, somewhere like that. Triple Helix Games it is, the venue. That was the one. Can't remember the name of the town though. And yeah, Kaz this time was rocking Dark Elves with Blackguard, Double Hydra, Pegasus Death level 4, 2 Fire level 1s, 3 units of 10 crossbows, double Harpies. There must have been more. A big block of Spearmen. That was about it. And I wasn't sure because he's got a load more deployments than me. So if he didn't want to fight me, he wouldn't have to. So I put Chosen in the middle of the board.
What did the Chosen roll?
12. Chosen got the 12, yeah, before the game started.
What,
I think it was the first roll as well.
Straight out of the back, 12.
I spent ages explaining to him how it all works, blah, blah, blah. I could do this, I could do that, I can do the other. 2 dice, 12. Oh, okay. Don't need any of that. Well, it might have been 11 and then bumped it up. But yeah, they got that straight away. So the Chosen had to go in the centre of the table because I know if he sticks all in the corner, I'll never get there if I'm in the opposite one. And I just trotted towards him. One of the things I was surprised at was the fact that he rolled on Death Magic, chose to keep Purple Sun when all mine's really high initiative. And
he's got anything in war, I'm on a 6.
Well, yeah, of course it does. And he'd got 2 Hydras, so there's a good chance that I'm going to have the third Eye of Tzeentch, which lets me choose my opponent's spells, which I had on my level 2, so I could still cast Gateway at the same time as choosing my opponent's spells. As it was, I didn't get the Purple Sun off on the Hydras, but I was casting Spirit Leech and Caress on his level 4 for most of the game. In fact, I think it might have been turn 2, I got a Caress on his level 4. He couldn't stop it. I think he'd already taken 2 wounds from another spell, Spirit Leech. He took 2 wounds from. And I got the Caress off, and I rolled 6 on my number of hits. No, 5 on my number of hits. 2 hits. Didn't roll the 4, so his level 4 flew away. And he's like, yeah, probably won't get that now. The Hydras came down one flank, like big excitable puppies, bounded towards me. I turned my Tzeentch Warriors to charge him. He put 1 in the forest, so when I charge, I'm not steadfast. But I thought I'll charge anyway. Well, I could choose to charge either of them. Chose to charge the one in the forest because I thought, well, the other one's close to the table edge, so if I run in, I win. I panic the other. I put my level 4 alongside it, so he'd run through my level 4 unless he rolled like a 3 or something, and then he wouldn't be able to stop. He'd be off the table instead of needing like a 9 or a 10 to reach table edge. And as it was, I charged in, war shrouded the Warriors and got a 12 on them as well. So the Warriors were stubborn and 3 up ward. So I charged in, beat the Hydra, panicked the other. The second one ran off the table. His first Hydra rallied the next turn, so I charged again and beat it again, and it ran off the board. So I'm happy then, because I'm thinking I've got 350 points, I'm going to win. Because I couldn't really see him getting any more points off me, because there's basically my army about a foot, then the Chosen, and then, you know what I mean, nothing bad was coming unless he gets a character. Chosen man forward. He held him up for a couple of turns with harpies. I got both of them. And then it came to like turn 5. He's like, should I charge the... thinking of charging the Blackguard into the Chosen. What do you think? I was like, well, to be honest, I've never fought that matchup, so I don't know. And that was the God's honest truth. So he charged in.
You arse.
He put the ward save on it. He
He's
charged
only
in.
little.
Then after the game, I was like, you should never have charged there. He says, well, you told me to. I was like, no, I didn't. Told you I'd never fought that matchup. Been playing with Dark Elves for 15 years. Never been stupid enough to charge Blackguard into a Chosen unit. And he just looked at me, shot me daggers.
You get. Is that why you got bad sports?
Probably. So I said to him what he should have done was swiftly form into a line, push the Blackguard forward so the champion's at the front and the Chosen would have been stuck fighting, killing 2 or 3 Blackguard around, you know what I mean? I had a bit of luck with panicking his level 4 block off. Not his level 4, sorry, his level 1 block off. And then last couple of turns, I got his level 4. His level 4 flew in a bit close. Measured to make sure he was out of 24 and 8, so my level 2 couldn't move 8, and then magic him. And then I did a swift reform with a unit, moved the unit up a bit, moved my level 2 into the back of the unit, teleport to the front, then cast the death magic and killed his level 4. So in the end, I got 1,700.
I bet he appreciated that, didn't he?
He liked it. He'll be using it. I got 1,700. Kaz got 0. So number 1, chalk one up for the 0 points. You're shaking your head and looking at me like I'm a bad man.
A little bit.
He had 2 Hydras and Blackguard. He deserves no mercy.
Okay.
But it was a good game. I had a great game against Kaz. I enjoyed it last time. They were a good bunch, them boys, and yeah, good laugh.
They're all insane.
They are all insane.
Yeah.
They were so in the bar on the Saturday night. They had a dice and they were rolling off. They had a dice and a marker pen.
Yeah.
See where this is going. They were rolling off to see who got to draw. I think they were laying down the bets first.
Yeah.
I could draw Hitler Tash on you.
I think it was. I think it was just there's a Hitler Tash on offer. Whoever rolls the lowest gets a Hitler Tash.
So they roll the dice. Oh, he's rolled the lowest. He gets drawn on. By the end of the night, they all had pen drawn on the faces. It was just crazy to watch.
Yeah.
I went home. It's like, I've seen enough. Okay, so who did you get in game 2?
I got John Holmes with Tomb Kings.
Tomb Kings, You must have been rubbing your hands.
I was a little unsure, to be honest with you. I don't really know what they do. And then he starts sort of explaining it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be fine. And 3 turns later, he didn't have any men left.
Oh, that's a bit rough. What did you just move up? War, charge, magic war, in.
Smash. Wolf Boy's killed his Hierophant, his Leash, and 20 bowmen, all on their own. Just went in the flank, jab. There's 1 dead. 1 by 2. There you go, lose another 2. Oh, Hierophant's coming near. Get him too. Jab.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
Did he not raise back into him?
He didn't have the dice.
Oh, you've got just masses and masses of Dispel Dice, haven't you?
And I didn't realise as well that they don't add their level to their casting.
No.
So my Orc, who's...
you just took 2 dice, had 4.
Had 5.
Had 5 every time.
Yeah.
He's just not got a prayer, has he?
And then when he's rolling things like... When he rolls like a 1 or a 2 with like the King, I'm dispelling it from an Orc or a Goblin. Because then if they fail... You needed to get, right with the one with the King, you need to get 2 of them off to be able to do anything. You have to move and then cast again on something else.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he was doing, he was charging the King into nothing. So it was a bit rough on poor John, to be honest.
Oh dear, poor John.
Bone Giants don't like rocks.
No.
Or Doom Divers. Or ranked units. They're not so keen on stupid forests.
He made himself stupid in the forest.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
On a 10 as well, is it, with Bone Giant?
I think it is a 10, yeah. But the leadership on Tomb Kings is bizarre.
Yeah, it is. Some of it's really high, some of it's really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really odd. Spider Riders went in the flank of his Shabti, killed 1. That was funny. He raised that back.
Yeah.
It was first spell, like, raise back wounds on the Shabti. Yeah, you crack on, mate.
Yeah.
You kill some more spiders, it's fine. The Black Horse coming. So yeah, it was a bit rough on John, really.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So big win.
2,500 played 230.
Nice. Okay, so my game 2, I played Matt Sewell. I played him before at the Milton Keynes one dayer, and I think I tabled him. He might have had a few bits left. Wasn't much, but that was with my horrendous Dark Elves. So this time I'm using Warriors of Chaos. He's got vampire counts. He's got 30 Graveguard with a white BSB in there. What else do they have? 50... No, it might have been 2 units of 30 ghouls. A skeleton unit with all his characters in. I think that's about it. 3 wraiths. I don't think he had another rare choice. Might have had a Varghulf, can't remember. It was the Dawn Attack, so I chose my Chosen first with all my characters in, put them in the middle, and then it was like my Tzeentch Warriors are off to the left flank, Slaanesh are off to the right flank, and then I think one war Shrine went off to the right. Then the other stuff, well, the only other 2 units went behind the Chosen. Matt's sort of went in the classic refused flank, everything where he wants it on one side. It's like, okay, that's a bit rough. I got first turn, moved my Warriors forward 8 inches, Chosen went forward, and then it was like...
Did you got first? Did you steal the initiative?
No, I put my army down first, and then went first.
I've got you.
Yeah, he didn't steal. So I moved my Warriors forward 8 inches, Chosen forward, everything else tried to move towards the Chosen. And then he moved his Graveguard forward 8, and then moved him again 8, like, move, finally got it through. Another 8 in the magic phase. I'm like, crap, them Warriors shouldn't have moved. You know what I mean? One movement phase, and I'm thinking, I've thrown the game away because of that, because it's a 400-point warrior unit, 20 Tzeentch Warriors. And I thought, I won't be steadfast neither, because he's in a horde. He's got 3 ranks. Sorry, he's got 2 ranks. Not 3, I suppose. The first one, 2 behind that. I'm in 5 wide. I've got 4 ranks, but he's hitting on 2. He's hitting on 2s with the helm on him, and wounded on 2s, and I'm saving on 5s. No, saving on 6s, then a 5.
How's he hitting on 2s?
Banner of the Barrows and the helm.
Oh, Banner of the Barrows, right.
And he did. He went in, he smashed them up, broke me, but I outran him. I rolled a 5 from a flea, and he rolled a 4.
Oh.
I had actually put a War Shrine behind the Graveguard, because I'd reformed the Chosen to face where the back of the Graveguard would end up. I put a War Shrine behind my warrior unit, so when the warriors fled, the Graveguard would hit the War Shrine and stop, and then the Chosen could go in the back. Mm-hmm. That didn't work, because the War Shrine panicked and ran off the table. The warriors rallied, though, and then the Chosen went to the back, and they'd been ward saved up. Again, start of the game, Matt's giving it all the big end, giving it all the banter, calling me fat, calling me rubbish, everything. You know what it's like. He's a nice guy. And as soon as I rolled the 12, he shut up. Halfway the deployment, I says, Matt, you've not said a word since I rolled my 12 on my Chosen. He says, I don't feel like I've said a word anymore. So the Chosen went in the back of there, decimated half the unit, but then the back of my Chosen's showing the arse to his whole army. And Guns was sat watching this. In fact, a few people were. Dan Elam was as well, because Dan had a 0-point draw against Adam Turner. They both just gone, no, not playing. Don't fancy fighting that. And everyone was asking me rules questions. First hour of that round, I'd not. I think it was still my turn 1. I said to Dan, "You sit there, get all the rules questions for me." And so a few people watching, and Matt goes, "I'll charge the Blood Knights in the back of your Chosen." And I thought, poker face. Looks over at Guns, and Guns is there, just hands on his head. What's he doing? It's like, and he charged the Blood Knights in. I strike first with high initiative, with halberds, and I only killed 1 Blood Knight. But then obviously I killed a load of Graveguard. All that was left after the combat was just his White King, which was huge, because if I'd killed the White King as well, I'd have got a combat reform to turn around and charge into his Lord's unit with a Chosen. But the White King held me, so his army moved back in his next turn, and I didn't get the Whites in the Lord in the end. I got the Ghouls, and I got his Wraiths as well. No, sorry, there's 1 Wraith left. I charged a Slaanesh Marauder block into 3 Wraiths, because I was going downhill. I was charging. That's 2. I had 2 ranks. Well, I thought I'd have 1 rank after the combat.
Yeah.
Or 2 ranks after the combat. That's right. And a banner, so I'd have 5. I thought he's not going to kill 6 models. He's not, so I win on a musician, and I charged in. He killed a few, but not many, because he's only weapon skill 3 as well.
Yeah.
Hitting on 4s, wounding on 2s. So he killed like 4 men. Lost combat, crumbled a bit. So next turn there's only 2 of them, and eventually he'd have disappeared.
Yeah.
But the game ended before then. So as it was, I got up by quite a bit. I think I got about 1,100, 1,200 points from that one. Yeah, 1288. And Matt got a War Shrine and my Warriors banner, because the Warriors rallied, obviously. And then the Chosen win between them and the army, so they're never going to die.
So not a 0 then?
No, another fail. I was quite gutted. But it was a win over...
No wonder people call you fat.
My arch nemesis, Matt Sewell. So... so yeah, that was game 2. Game 3, who'd you play?
I played Matt Yeo.
Oh, it was the Orkoff, wasn't it? Battle for the Pass.
Battle for the Pass. Matt rocks up. He's got a big unit of Savage Orc big uns, 34 of them. Black Orcs, normal boys, Night Goblins. A level 4, a Black Orc War Boss. Level 2, a BSB. 3 Rocklobbers and a Doom Diver. I'm like, arse. This is going to be bad. So Matt starts deploying. He's not got that many deployments. I've got loads of chaff, spiders, pump wagons, ball boys, that sort of thing. So I puts them all up, sort of 24-inch line, and everything of Matt's is going board edge, board edge, board edge. So Matt's got his whole army down, including his artillery, and I've still got my 4 big blocks, giant and characters. So I looked at it, thought, do I really want to run at this? Get pounded for 4 turns,
and then fight a million Savage Orcs,
and then fight the stuff that probably fights slightly better than I do anyway, without taking casualties. Nah, sod that. Board edge. So
you were on the table behind me while you were playing this. Yeah. It looked like fun.
It was.
It was, and that wasn't sarcastic either. It did look like fun.
Yeah. In fairness, I'd got a bit of a plan, and I thought I could make this work to my advantage. So the Vanguard moves, everything goes backwards. Basically, he's out of range with everything. All he's got is he's got a Doom Diver that can shoot my Doom Diver, which I wasn't that bothered about because it's only D6.
It's 6s to wound.
6s to wound. Meanwhile, I can shoot his chariots, which are around there, because he put them quite far forward.
Yeah.
I thought I'm more likely to get the points off the chariots than he is off my Doom Diver. And if it does get bad, I can move it back for 2 turns and then I'm out of range. He then blows his level 4 up first turn.
You were cheering at that. I'm winning.
I'd rolled double stomp on...
Didn't he kill your giant first, though?
No. My giant went in the corner.
Oh, right, okay.
As far away as it physically could get.
I thought the giant had died.
No, it looked like it had died.
Oh,
it was
okay.
As far away out the way as possible. So Matt, did I win the first turn? I think I did. Everything moved backwards. Apart from the pump wagons and the squigs, because I thought they're not worth a win to it.
No.
So I thought if he's going to start shooting his Rocklobbers, I might get a bit lucky, blow some stuff up. They were within 6 of the Night Goblins, so they could have panicked. He had General and BSB next to them, but still. Then he blows his level 4 up. It's like, right, this could work here. But if I can get the chariot, maybe if he blows a couple of war machines up, I'll win. In the end, it didn't happen. To be honest, nothing happened. Bit of magic here, bit of magic there from me. A few artillery shells at pump wagons and things like that.
So, Gork's Warpath, is it? Mm-hmm. That's not got a range, has it?
Nope, tabletop.
Okay. Both of you had that?
Matt blew his up.
So you had it and he didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to be happy.
Yeah.
But you've also got to be conscious of, I can't blow this up.
Yeah, but also as well, it's D6 strength 6. So against the war machines, you're winning on 5s. Against the big units, you got to get it off 10 times to get anywhere near them. He's got everything within general and BSB range that can panic.
Yep.
So I'm stomping on chariots, the single troll, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So in the end, it was 265 points to me, which was his level 4, and then 140 to Matt, which was 2 pump wagons and a unit of spiders.
So you won.
So
Tactical genius of killing nothing.
Yeah, of killing.
Just letting Matt kill stuff for a while and then walking away with a win.
Yeah.
Nice, I like that.
But it wasn't enough for a win in this, because you had to win by 300 in the Maelstrom system, so yeah.
Well, my game 3, I played against Will Goodwin, and he had quite a filthy army, I think everyone has agreed, with the 2 steam tanks of Doom. And it was Battle for the Pass as well, so I'm like, great, what do I deserve to get Empire in Battle for the Pass? So
aren't you actually still playing that game?
Yeah. So I had a plan of stick my chosen forward on their own and into the buildings in the centre of the table.
In a line?
No, we weren't actually.
Within half?
No, we'll get to that in a minute. So we had 2 tanks, 1 cannon, 2 mortars. I wasn't really bothered about the mortars because I rolled armour save on my chosen at the start of the game.
Only 1 cannon?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he's got 2 cannons on the tanks, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Anyway, started by lining up all my Slaanesh warriors at the back. So at this, Will was like, "Oh, you're going at the back." I was like, "Well, look at what you brought. Stop moaning." So lines up at the back with my warriors. Will's got loads of deployments, so it got to like the point where I've got to put my chosen down somewhere, and I decided to go as far forward as I can, facing the 2 buildings. So Will put basically 2 tanks straight towards the chosen. And he says, you can't march into a building, can you? No, can't march into a building. Sure you can't march into it? Sure, can't march into a building. Building's like 11 inches away. So it's my first turn, swift reform on the chosen, into a column, so I can move up to 8 inches around my centre, because I can't move more than double my move.
Yeah.
So 8 inches, 8 men forward from the centre, 8 men back, and then that means I can move 3 inches.
So basically you've got a 12-inch move to get into the building.
And so they go in the building. Will wasn't that happy about this. Can you do this? Well, you could definitely do it. We could spend 20 minutes looking in the rule book, or you could just take my word for it.
Do you know Brian Carmichael did exactly the same thing to him in the Watchtower scenario?
Did he really? Excellent. Well, so they're in the building. 2 tanks push forward again. His first turn, he'd killed both my war altars, war shrines. He'd cannoned 1, full ward failed, dead. He'd cast a magic missile at the other. Again, he did 2 wounds, failed both the armour, passed one of the wards, failed one, and then the mortar dropped on it, central hit, even with indirect fire it was. So it hits it, it scatters, but not far enough. He rolled a hit, so he brings it back with his ballistic skill.
Yeah.
And then rolls 4 to wound, failed my ward save, D3 wounds, dead.
Haven't they got 5 wounds?
No, they got 4 wounds.
Oh, I thought they had 5.
So he killed that. And I was like, well, I'm in trouble now because the Chosen have got nothing on them. They got armour. I'm looking at the wrong page here. They didn't get armour. I might be looking at the right page, actually. Yeah, armour, and that was it. I didn't get to do it. They were both dead before my first turn. So the Chosen went in the building. Tanks came forward, and he'd left a gap so neither of the tanks could see where the Chosen were coming out of the building. So I says, right, I'm going to move the Chosen out of the building. If you want the points from him, you've got to turn both tanks around, basically. Otherwise, you're not going to kill him. And he was like, okay, fair enough. I was like, in the meantime, as it is, if you push 2 tanks into the middle of my army, you're going to get more than 700 points. No, I could do about it. So the Chosen came out. He got greedy, didn't turn both tanks around. He turned one around and tried to block the Chosen up. Chosen went forward, killed a detachment, overran into a crossbow unit, killed them. Tank went in the side, did a bit, not a lot. Next turn, I'd done a couple of wounds to that tank, and he had the option of... He did his steam points first, then he's got an option of charging the war altar in. And he decided to go for 4 steam points, and if 5 or 6 would have been a fail, whereas he could have gone for 2 steam points and it would have been fine. So a war altar charging in, plus some magic in combat, plus 2d3 strength 6, that would have been enough with the few more turns to grind him out. He decided to get greedy, so because he'd failed on the tank, he didn't want to charge the war altar in, so he didn't. So I'm like, this is crazy. The Chosen are never going to go anywhere. The second tank had come forward. He was fighting warriors. His knights had gone down one side, and I'd made a mistake then. I'd put BSB into the Slaanesh Marauder unit and not left it in range of the second Marauder unit. So he charged them with 1 unit of knights and broke me. 1 unit of 5 knights was standard, broke me, ran them off the board, turned around. So it's like turn 5, he's only killed the 2 shrines and the Slaanesh Marauders. Everything else is still fine. And then I'm thinking I can get a lot of points back here. My Chosen shouldn't go anywhere. He probably shouldn't get anything else from my army because my warriors were fighting a tank and I was going all right. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to drop my steadfast unless some crazy dice rolls happen. Yeah. It was doing all right. And then my level 4, which I'd been flying forwards and risking the cannonballs because I knew I was up against it, I flew from one wood into another, which is fine. Passed my terrain test. He's Searing Doomed me. And at the same time, his Warwalter had charged my Chosen. I didn't want to let him get Soulfire off on the Chosen, so I let the Searing Doom go. And I'd already said to him, look, if you get 6, I think I'd taken 1 wound at this point. So I says to him, look, if you get 6, you shouldn't get the 2 wounds off on average. You know what I mean? 6 hits, 5 wounds, that's not more than 2 on after my 3 up ward.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, you're probably right there. So I let it off. He rolled a 6 anyway. Like, great. So if fails to wound with one of them because it's 2 up because I've got a 1-up save. So I make 5 ward saves, and I fail 1. And he's like, oh, bloody hell, you got lucky there. I'm like, really? We've just established he should survive it. So my turn, I charged my level 4 out of the forest, and it was into a cannon, and then it was overrun into a mortar, then it was charge again into another mortar if I kill that, which I should, because you know what I mean. He's got like 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Potion of foolhardiness for the first one as well. And I died coming out of the forest, terrain test, and dead. Failed my 3 up ward. I was gutted at that. Then in the same turn, the Chosen made the first. I had to take the first break test of the day, and failed at 8 stubborn, and they ran away as well. Luckily, the Chosen rallied and ended the game still alive. The tank that had gone one way. Eventually broke the warriors because he put a knight unit in the back. After me saying, I'll charge with my marauders with my BSB into his knights. I need a 10. And I thought, there's no way he can hold, because if I charge and I get in, and at this point my level 4 is still alive, thinking I'm getting 300 points worth of war machines. My Chosen aren't dying, my warriors aren't dying. If I get them knights, I'm going to win the game. Mm-hmm. He held and I rolled a 9. Ooh. And then he charged them knights into the back of my warriors and broke them. So last turn it was a massive swing. Will took about 900 points off me, which I didn't think he was going to get, and then all of a sudden he did. So I got bugger all. I got like I got 160 points, and Will got I got 145, and Will got 1,275. So yeah,
bumming then.
It was a big mauling in the end, but you know what I mean. 450. That's my level 4 dying on a twig. Yeah, it's bad. So yeah, big win to Will. Empire in battle for the pass, eh?
It's a rough one, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you get moaned at for not wanting to deploy on the 24-inch line. Yeah, lovely. Okay, so
having played against Matt with his artillery, we were having a bit of a discussion in the evening about maybe bringing in a bit of a buffer zone,
not being able to go all the way to the back.
Yeah. Because it stops it all, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
The problem is, it's the fact that if you go on the 24-inch line to want to fight, even if he goes on the 24-inch line as well, you're not getting to the artillery, so you're going to get shelled. Whereas in a straight-up battle, you can get to the artillery.
You aren't getting shelled as badly.
What, if you go at the back?
Yeah.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's another foot. If you put a 12-inch sort of dead zone at the back, you can't deploy in, but you can move in afterwards.
Yeah.
It reduces the effectiveness of the complete gun lines.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that it makes the results any differently, but also as well, like for example, in the game that I played against Matt, it meant I couldn't put everything out of range of his rock lobbers, so I would have to go forward. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe it's something to think about.
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't make for a better game because you still, like you say, get shelled for a bit and then get beat up, but I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to try running a tournament with that one in.
Or maybe
a few practice games.
Maybe a bit of comp. So you can't have 3 rock lobbers and 2 dune divers. You can only have, say, 2 and 1.
Yep.
Don't know.
Okay, so Sunday, bright and early, brave the snow again, and who did you get?
I got Matt Howley.
The Gateway King.
The Gateway King, who's actually now turns into the War King. Yeah. Bit disappointed. Matt took a massive risk. What did he have in his army? He had a level 4 on a disc, a level 2 with death, big unit of warriors, big horde of flail wielding corn marauders, 2 units of knights, 2 hell cannons, unit of marauder horse. I think that was about it. A BSB. Yeah, that was it. Basically, first turn he moves backwards so he can Hell Cannon and Magic me. Second turn, I move forward. Second turn, he shoves it all in my face. And basically just goes for the double 6-wire. And if he'd not got it, I think it was game over, personally.
Okay, so he needed the rerolls and he needed the rerolls, did he, to win combats?
No, to get into combat.
Yeah, but if you'd have charged him, it wouldn't matter because he strikes first anyway.
But where he put it all meant that I was getting flank charges on both flanks.
Yeah,
I had giant and night goblins flank charging things, and then on the other flank I had pump wagons and squigs.
Yeah.
Fighting against his blocks, and then if I'd have got War off, then
it is game over. Isn't it?
Yeah. I'd also been stomping on his wizard. I'd rolled double stomp, and this is the mistake I made was having rolled double stomp, not putting the 2 wizards with that the level 4 because the goblin can get stomped as well. Yeah.
Stomp.
You can get them in. I could have put them behind the hill,
so he couldn't see
have
you.
stolen War. And I can still stomp on him and still cast War.
You can cast War and stomp, so big mistake.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't make it in the 5th game, I can tell you. So we got his double 6, and it basically went from there, really. Smashed me.
Yeah, just took everything off. Did you get any points?
Yeah, I got some. I got 740. Matt got 3,100. But 1,200 of that is, because it was breakpoint, is the scenario. We also had an interesting debate on, or discussion about half points and fleeing units as well at the end of the game.
Because you killed half of everything.
In this rules pack, you get half points. You get points for fleeing units at the end of the game, but you don't get half points. And I had about 700 points of my army was fleeing at the end of the game, and it wasn't that it had fled in the last turn. It was a unit of boys that had failed a terror test with a wizard in, a unit of wolf riders that they'd fled through and panicked, and a unit of night goblins that had broken from the Chaos Warriors in about turn 4 and hadn't rallied. So Matt got all the points for that, whereas I didn't get half points for his level 4, a War Shrine, a Knight unit, and a Warrior unit. Which, I don't know. I think if you're giving away points for one, you should be giving it away for the other, especially in a victory point-based scoring system.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have made any difference to Matt's result. He'd have still got his 5,000 win, which is the maximum, because he deserved it. He smashed me.
Yep.
He took a chance, but he smashed me. But it meant that I'd have got another 1,000 tournament points added on. Because for every victory point you get a battle point, basically. So I think that's, if you're going to use one, I think you need to use both or none, personally.
Yep, fair enough.
It was just, I mean, I'd never really come up before, but it was such an extreme case with the amount of points that were fleeing and halved that it really showed it up. Like I say, it wouldn't have changed the result if you'd have had both fleeing and half, or if you'd not had fleeing. Matt would have still got 5k, and I'd have still been soundly beaten. But you get a little bump up with your VPs.
Yeah, I can sort of agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so my game on the Sunday morning was against Will Esland, who travelled down from Edinburgh, quite a trip down, and he bought Vampire Counts. Quite a nice army, really, painted all sort of in like shades of green. Black Coach had also been chopped about a bit, so it looked like it was sort of jumping about off the base. It looked like it was landing off a flying move.
Okay.
That was quite good.
I didn't see that.
So it was the scenario, which it was the Blood and Glory one, so we can set up a bit further in. I can't remember who chose in table size. I think it was me, and I chose the side that there was 2 big buildings on one flank, and I chose to be opposite them, but with the buildings further to his side of the table. I think at the time my thinking was I want more space to be able to move around in. Don't want the buildings getting in my way. But then sort of halfway the deployment I thought, right, I'm going to move into them buildings first turn, because this is another still initiative game, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So well, it might not be actually. No, that was it. I knew I was getting +1, so I thought I could just move into the buildings. They can swift reform, move in, and that's what I did. The Chosen and the Warriors into the buildings. Now the only thing was, this seemed like a great plan, but my level 4 decided to use its co-join homunculus, and then take a stupidity test, which I failed, which allowed his Black Knights to just go rampaging straight towards him. Now, this is where I made just a massive fail. I shouldn't have used the D3, so I shouldn't put myself in a stupidity test without my BSB nearby. Then what I shouldn't have done was bring my warriors out of a building to try and block the Black Knights. I should have just let him charge because I'd have been steadfast. Should have made sure my BSB was going to be in range within the warrior block with my general as well. So I'm leadership 9 with a reroll. And then the Chosen, who would also have been able to come out of a building, would have been in range for a flank or a rear. Basically, I made a right hash of it. Warriors came out of one building in 2 lines, like 7 wide, because you've got to be within an inch of the building. 7 wide. Didn't quite block the Black Knight. I thought it was plenty looking at it, but then in his turn he sort of got the straight edges out, and it was a 4+. It was that type when neither of us could call it. I said, look, just roll a dice. 4+, you can charge past. 1, 2, 3, do what you want. Charge the warriors or just move, whatever. So he charged past them into my marauders. He charges 50 ghouls into my 2 ranks of Tzeentch warriors. He charges a spirit host through a building into the side of my Chosen. So it's 3 spirit hosts, which I didn't even see because I wasn't paying attention. He charged. Yeah, he charged 2 wraiths into the Chosen as well, and I'm like, oh, this is all over.
Were they half in and half out of the building though?
They were behind the building,
right?
Which they could see past it.
Yeah. And
when they charged past, they weren't stopped in the building. They completely through, yeah. Right. Which is my own fault, because I could have come out and been within 40 mil. I could have put my Chosen where I wanted him. I just didn't see it. I did see the wraiths going in, nice. But I magic missile them and left. I magic missile them and gatewayed them and didn't do enough. I think he stopped the flickering fire. He stopped the gateway and my level 2 Cascades on the Gash using his spells, and I killed 1, I think. So he charged them both in the side. The Chosen were ranked up, and the BSB was in there, so they just disappeared eventually. So the Wraiths went the first round because he lost by 3.
Yeah, because you're starting on 5, aren't you?
Starting on 5, so he had 2. He lost by 3. The Wraiths went. That was it. There was only 1 Wraith. Yeah, they went. Spirit Host took some. I reformed to face him. I'm still on 5, so they went some more in his turn. Then the Black Coach charged in the flank, and I didn't get the ward save at the start, but I had gotten it by now. And the Warriors had got armor saves, so these 50 ghouls were just bouncing off the Warriors. So the Black Coach goes in the side, and I'm thinking this could be tricky because
is that ethereal by this point?
Ethereal, flying, killing blow. He killed a few, but and then I think I won by 1 that time. Musician. So the Spirit Host took another wound, the Coach took another wound, and then I managed to get a War Shrine in the side of the Spirit Host. So that's far. I was on 7 then, 3 ranks, standard,
battle standard,
flank charge, and that popped them both. War Shrine overran out the way, Chosen reformed. At this point, the Black Knights have been fighting the Marauders for sort of 4 rounds of combat and have not dropped my Steadfast yet. The Varghulf runs around the back. I tried to charge it with a ranked up Marauder unit. I know he's got Thunderstomp and everything, but again, I'm steadfast. I can just hold him there. At this point, I'm thinking I'm going down without any points, but it starts coming back. As I'm getting stuck in combat, so I'm winning combats. The Wraith's gone, that's points. At this point, he'd got nothing off me, but it did look bad. Wraith's gone, that's points. The Coach went, Spirit Host went. Second Spirit Host got charged by a War Shrine, then reared by another War Shrine later on, so that wasn't going anywhere. And then the 50 ghouls were just getting ground out by the Warriors, 2 up armor, 5 up ward. And then when I failed the charge against the Varghulf, I'm thinking this is bad because the Varghulf then charged into my Marauders. And it's like, it'll be fine, it won't kill that many. The Black Knights are still rubbish. They're just rubbish in combat. Once they're stuck and you can't get your helm on them, they can't do it. No. There wasn't killing enough. There was 20 of me. And I was still like, it took him a while to realise that...
They don't even survive enough, do they?
No. Well, I wasn't killing any. It took him a while to realise that he needed to reform to 5 wide to stop me being steadfast when I'm in a single rank. But he didn't get to that because the Varghulf came in, killed a few, but I was still steadfast. I had 2 ranks because there's only 6 Marauders left. I'm a wizard. That's 2 ranks on the disc.
Yeah.
And then it comes to a turn where I've got a choice of... I need... The turn I charged a War Shrine into the side of the Spirit Host was the same turn I had a chance of charging the back of the Varghulf or the side of the Black Knights with the Marauder block. The Varghulf I was in. Didn't need to roll. But the Black Knights, I needed, I think it was 9 inches, so I needed 5. And it was like, do I want to do it or not? And it's like, you know what, forget it. I'm going for the side of the Black Knights because that's going to make the biggest difference. And I did. I got in. But at the same time, the Varghulf went ballistic and killed all the Marauders and just left me level 4. So I lost the combat. I held with the flank charge, but the Varghulf got to charge with level 4 off. I outran him, but his turn next. He's facing me level 4 and I'm on the table edge. I go, right, okay, charges. Are you putting the Varghulf in? He goes, no, I'm not. I'm like, okay, don't say anything. And at this same point, the Chosen are free. So he's turned him around thinking he can turn the Varghulf around, move back towards his caster, and then move him into the back of the Tzeentch Warriors fighting the Ghoul.
What we're playing? War
Sorry,
Machine?
yes. His Lord. He's only got one wizard. It's just the Vampire Lord. Moving back towards the Vampire Lord, within 12, she'll be able to... Well, within 8 of the Warriors and within 12 of the Lord, she'll be able to charge into the Warriors, thinking he can break them. And then... I don't know. It's 400 points. The thing is, it's 400 points for the Warriors. It's 400 points for the Disc Rider. He thought he could break them, meaning my Chosen wouldn't be able to get into the Black Knights, so keep the Black Knights alive as well. As it was, he went in the back, did next to bugger all. I held. The Chosen went in the side of the Varghulf and overran into the Black Knights, popped both of them. At the same time, my level forward rallied and gatewayed his Vampire Lord's bunker. Oh. So he'd had to bail out. And then in my turns 5 or 6, I think it was, I just won all the combats I was involved in. It all popped. The Vampire Lord got double flickering fired. 1 did a wound each, and then the Gateway took the final wound. In fact, the Gateway did like 7 wounds. He's got 3 at ward. He took a handful of dice, only needing to fail 1, and he failed like all of them. And that was that. It was like a total wipeout in the end, but he did get some points.
Oh, no.
Yeah, which annoyed me greatly. So he got a Marauder unit and 2 banners. So he got 160. So it was still a fail of not having a 0. I've only got 1 up to now. Okay,
you just not got the skills. That's it, isn't it?
That is. I am lacking. Okay, so who did you run into in game 5?
Kevin Webster, who we've had down the Derby Club a few times.
Yep, and he was over at the Destruction Derby last week as well.
He was pushing some more Warriors around.
Similar sort of build to mine, wasn't he? But he hadn't gone for the level 4. He'd gone for more fighting.
He's got a level 2 with the spell familiar third spell, and the third eye as well. Yeah, a BSB, 2 units of 50 Great Weapon Marauders, Khorne, a unit of Tzeentch Warriors, 20 odd Chosen with the Wailing Banner and all that jazz, and a single Hell Cannon.
Yep. So how did the game go?
He lines it all up on the 6-inch line, steals the initiative, the bastard, and runs it all forward. He then goes...
This was meeting engagement,
yeah, meeting engagement. And then goes, right, third eye, cast War, rolls his dice. I says, you can't. Why not? That wizard with War, hiding behind the hill. Can't see him. Oh, crap. Okay, Gateway. You still can't. Why not? 1, you've used third eye. 2, you didn't roll Gateway. Arse. Shooting then. So shoots his Hell Cannon, blam in the middle of a unit of Night Goblins, runs them off the board. My go, I push it all forward, roll War, 6, and it all goes.
Nice. So you blow the wizard up.
No. Stupid and frenzied.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So... in the front of a unit of Warriors goes the pump wagon. In the side goes some squigs. The unit next to that was the Marauders. In go the Black Orcs and unit of boys. The other unit of boys goes into a War Shrine. The Giant goes into the Chosen. And that was about it. So, I move Wolf Boys up so that if he kills the Giant, even with his reform, he can't get into the side of the boy unit that... he's got the War Shrine. He's fighting the War Shrine. So I didn't know if the War Shrine had go or not. So it starts with the squigs and the pump wagon. They kill loads of warriors. It's really good fun, that is.
Yeah.
And then the squigs overrun into the side of the Marauders. So I've got squigs in the flank, Black Orcs in the front, boys in the front of 50 Great Weapon Marauders. I killed 37.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they weren't steadfast.
Really, wow. They were not steadfast. They did kill a bucket load back.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But they didn't hit the double one. So the Blackhawks chased them. The boys next to them reformed. The Giant did bugger all, but didn't die.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah.
What did he have on him? Halberds?
No, hand-weapon shields. And I think he'd rolled... Oh, no, he'd rolled +1 strength, +1 armour, and magic resistance. But he didn't kill the Giant. I think he'd left the Giant on a wound or something. Do you know what I mean? I was really dying to roll a 1.
Yellow ball.
Yeah, win by 2.
Yeah, that'd have been brilliant.
Yeah.
that'd have been just mental.
Yeah. So that was basically the beginning of the end, really.
Yep.
I was just running around trying to chase war shrines forever. They kept fleeing and rallying and then not dying but breaking and not getting caught.
Yeah.
He's chosen. I think he made a mistake with this, and I told him this after the game. You know, so did his mate John, who was watching the last few turns. He was too preoccupied with these wolves in front, rather than combat reforming and things like that. And then my little wizard who came on as a reserve
ran in front,
thinking, right, if the wolves do eventually go or don't rally, he can then be the blocker. Meanwhile, he's just casting headbutt at the BSB. Jab, 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 jab. Eventually gets the BSB. And all that Kev had left in the end was the Chosen and the Marauder block.
Yep.
I sort of looked in the last turn. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be greedy or not. I could have shoved both the Boyle units, one in the front, one in the flank, and then
of the Chosen.
No, of the other Marauder block, and then try for some wire action.
But you didn't know what would happen.
Yeah.
If you didn't get the wire off, it was a bit dicey.
Yeah. What I could have done was charged the BSB in, got in no problem, but then the other unit I'd have needed an 8. I'd have needed a 7 on the wire because they could only move forward 8, and then wire. And I thought if I charge the BSB and they don't get in, I'm buggered. It could be in trouble, could lose the ball, the BSB's unit. And then I also thought, well, if I stand them both at 7 and one gets in and one doesn't, same thing. So in the end, I didn't bother. I sort of added it up a bit in my head, and I got a win in the end. 1,300 played 900.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was a good game actually.
Well, my game 5, meeting engagement again, was against John Jones. With quite a filthy demon army, if you ask me. 40 horrors, 30 bloodletters, 20 demonettes, double flamer, herald in each, double herald in the horrors.
Not having it.
Why?
You can't call it filthy.
Why?
Right, look behind you. Look at that Dark Elf
The Dark Elf Shelf of Doom.
And the bloody tray of warriors.
Yeah. It's all filthy. I'm not saying mine wasn't. So we rolled for the first turn, or for the first deployment, and John won the roll, so I had to start. So, which is always good because it's best to go second in meeting engagement because you get to choose your fights of what's going where, even though you get in the second turn. So he rolls off for all this stuff, and the horrors don't come on. So all that doesn't come on. So two single fiends come. Everything comes except the horrors, and that's fine. But he's going first, and he can sort of choose where they come anyway after I've deployed, so it's not all bad. Because he's not really going to be running towards me anyway. He's got more magic. Neither of us have got any shooting. He could sit and wait and magic me, so it's not bad. I roll, and it's like, Chosen, fine.
So where do his heralds go then?
They can go anywhere. They can go on their own somewhere and just wait for the horrors to come on and join. Or they can go in the flamer units, which he didn't really think about. He put them on their own. So, Chosen first, they're fine. I'm like, good, doesn't matter now. War Shrines, they're fine too. Brilliant. As we're going through it all, I'm sort of like, this is going to be brilliant. There's nothing left. And in the end, it was like, ha, Zinch says yes. And it all turned up. So the Chosen went like right.
Zinch has got a plan.
Yeah, right at the front. And the idea was, all I don't want is him being able to gateway using, because he's got Glean Magic on one of his Zinch heralds. Didn't want him to gateway the Chosen. So my plan for that was to fly my level 4 behind the tower on like the right flank. And if the horrors want to go over there to be able to get line of sight, my Chosen, by the time he's in the tower, my Chosen will be more than 24 away.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what happened. His 2 units of flamers spent all game shooting at my level 4 which had a 1-up armour and a 3-up ward. He didn't do a single wound. I think he did 1 wound on the last turn, and by then it didn't matter. The Chosen just ran straight at his Bloodletters, which he didn't fancy. So because I'd not rolled the 12 actually on them. I'd rolled the 12. But I'd also got attacks and strength, which was the big thing.
Holy crap.
When I get into combat with extra hand weapons, it's 4 attacks per model in the front rank, then 1 for each behind. So it's basically 6 attacks. So if he's 7 wide, you know what I mean? Each model that's in base contact, I get 9 in combat. So I use 5 wide, I get 7 in combat. So, you know what I mean? It's messy.
Wow, there's the pain.
Yeah. So he sticks all his stuff in front of me. Fiend, another Fiend, Furies, and then finally I get into the Bloodletters. Kill 15 in the first round. Second round, kill the remaining 14, because there's 29 of them. Leave just the Herald there, needing a pop test, and he goes. Then I go chasing the Demonettes, get into them eventually. He tried to move away, but I rolled a big charge and got in the back of them, popped them, and that was it. I got the Demonette block, I got the Bloodletter block, both Fiends and the Furies, and he got nothing. So it was
Nothing.
He got nothing.
Oh.
And I even wrote down Ben and John and did him a big 0. So I was quite happy about that. So that was my second one. So it was good. But yeah, I don't know, it's a strange game. If I hadn't rolled the 3-up ward on my Chosen, I think I'd have got more points out of it. Because it's strange as it seemed, right? The attacks and the strength would have killed the Bloodletter blocks in 2 rounds still. I think if I hadn't rolled the 3-up ward, but I'd got the attacks and the strength, I think he'd have been more inclined to throw the Bloodletter straight at the Chosen, and I think I'd have still gone through him in 2 rounds, and then still got the Demonettes, and I might have got back to the Horrors as well. But as it was, it took me like 5 turns to get into combat. So yeah, it was a bit of a strange one, that was. So yeah, good game though. Had a good laugh. But yeah, no points in the end. It was fun. Just like he'd been shooting my Marauders. I'm like, it's fine. You can keep shooting them until there's like 9 left, and then both War Shrines sort of close the door, stood in front of him. You won't be shooting these anymore. And using the level 4 just to take up the flame of fire. You know what I mean? He moved into a building and shot me, and I'm like, that's fine. And he moved another unit around and shot him. He's like, that's fine as well. So okay, so. Do I stay hidden behind the building so he can't gateway me, or should I fly off? It's like, I think I'll be fine. So next turn it's like Flamer's hitting me on 3s. It's if I could take that, I could take anything. Let's see what happens. And he didn't do anything. 3s to hit, big roll as well. He rolled like 26 or something. It wasn't even like he was rolling bad to hit. It was just a 1-up
like
save.
Say, though, 3s to hit, 4s to wound. What? 2-up save, 3-up ward.
Yep.
You're going to be shooting them all week, aren't you?
Yeah. And I'll tell you what as well, I reckon with the build, you can get the level 4 with a 3-up ward, a 1-up armor with a reroll. Yeah, good. Very good. So, anyway, that was my game 5. It was only 1,100 points in the end to me, because, like I say, I got 2 blocks and some chaff.
Yeah, but only 1,100 points is fine when your opponent gets 0.
Yes. So, your game 6?
It was against Andrew Lewis. Guy I've played very regularly at tournaments. He's from Cardiff way. He's got his demons with his Bloodthirster out. Bloodthirster, Khorne Herald, Tzeentch Herald with all the shadow spells. Slaanesh Herald on a steed with Siren Song. The Khorne Herald was a BSB. Big unit of Bloodletters, 25, 30 Horrors, 6 Seekers, 6 Flamers, 2 Single Fiends, and a Bloodthirster. I think I won the role to put something in the building, but I haven't got anything to go in the building. So Andrew got to go first. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. He shuffles his Bloodletters forward, and I did the old swift janky reform into a building, which I think is very quickly going to become the tournament standard of the building game, which is a bit of a shame almost, because the first 2 turns are going to be the same, aren't they? And I looked at it beforehand, and I thought, if I try and fight him, I'm probably going to struggle, unless I can kill the Bloodthirster really quickly. Because the fights I can probably win over time.
Yeah, because you're fairly tough, and he's not.
And if I can get Wire off as well, at some point, It means I'm striking first and re-rolling, you're killing a load. I've got more guys than he has to start with. But it's the Bloodthirster. The Bloodthirster then swings fights just hugely with the Thunderstomp. So I thought, if I can't take the Bloodthirster down, I'm going to struggle beating him up and taking the building, or keeping the building off him. If he gets Bloodletters in the building, I can't shift them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You just can't. So I sort of decided I'll try and get the building. If it means giving up my army, it means giving up my army, and that's basically what happened. Units just went straight in the building. He charged me in his turn, bounced off. Well, I killed a few, and I was stubborn. And then got the Black Hawks in the flank of the Bloodletters. Got wire off, killed a load. They popped, but I think he left him with about 6 or so. He passed his combat reform, I think, or maybe he didn't. I can't remember. But I did mine, and all I did was I went 2 ranks wide, so it meant that the Bloodthirster needed a 20 to get in the back. If I'd have stayed 4 deep,
it's 18. Isn't
18, very doable. In the end, he rolled 17 on 3 dice. So, bugger. So that's in. So he wipes the Black Hawks out. I put another unit of boys in to try and get rid of the Khorne Herald and the unit, because it's a lot of points. If I get that, plus the building, and I got a unit from the Night Goblins and took out the Flesh Hounds. They're really good at that. Night Goblins.
Yeah.
The Seekers just destroyed the Giant, a Pump Wagon, then the Night Goblins.
Oh dear.
They got a load of points back, they did.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing all right. I thought the Giant would have been fine. I tried to pick up the Herald on the turn that I got wire off. She fought me off, and then the Steeds did 4 wounds with poison.
4 poisons.
4 attacks, 4 poisons.
Nice.
Dead Giant. Arse.
Okay, just a quick one.
Mm-hmm.
Toughness of a Giant?
5.
And you tried to pick up the Strength 4 Herald.
Mm-hmm.
You might not have been better picking up a normal trooper? 6s to win instead of 5s?
It's the points, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you throw it back into the unit, it's going to kill the unit, and your combat res goes up.
There's a lot of results of
pick up another one,
of eating it and killing it, or putting it in your pants. So you get the points for it for the Herald.
Yeah, but
and I also thought if the Herald was gone, the Giant should be able to stick around for another couple of turns.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's an obvious thing to do, pick up the character.
Yeah,
but I was just wondering, would it not be better to actually stick the combat for a while?
Well, I thought I would. I thought, especially if I can get rid of the Herald, I would stick around for a while. Or that was the theory. But the Herald would take you down quite quickly, because it's got so many attacks, re-rolling. Yeah. And then it's winning on 5s. But yeah, the Steeds poisoned it to death, which was upsetting.
That's a bit rough.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Horrors just sat in the building trying to purple sun things all game. The Flamers took out the artillery. The Fiends ran around causing problems. And so in the end, all I got was the Bloodletters, the Flesh Hounds. The Khorne Herald was left on a wound. I tried to stomp it in the last turn to get it dead, but it's got Armour of Khorne and then ward saves. So in the end, that was 1,780 to me and 1,600 to Andrew. So it was a healthy draw for the pair of us. But like I say, I couldn't see another way of doing that.
No.
With the building. Because all
it's a tough match, demons in the building, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd never have shifted them, the Bloodletters, not in a million years.
No.
And if I was him, I'd have got the Horrors in there after that.
Yeah.
Bloodletters go out, clear the building.
Yep, and put the Horrors in afterwards.
Get the Bloodletters in first, so that, I've got to try and get rid of them, and it's just never happening. And then get them out when the Bloodthirster get into the flanks of stuff. Get them out, get the Horrors in, and then same problem with the Horrors. You're never shifting 30 Horrors out.
No, of course not.
So that was all I could think of doing with that, which I don't know. I don't know if that's quite the right way it should be.
It's each game's you've got to look at different and see how you're going to go, haven't you?
We were talking on the way back, weren't we, about the point system, about maybe these scenarios where you get a win, if you put people on the points for a win and then add their victory points.
Yeah.
Because in that game, obviously, I gave up my army, 1,630 points of my army, but only scored, without the scenario, 500?
Yeah.
So if I get the points for a win, I don't know. It probably works out about the same, to be honest. But I don't know. Rambling.
Yeah, rambling. Exactly. Okay, so my game 6, I could see this coming, really. I drew off against Michael Biggs, and he'd got pretty much the same army as me, except his was better for the mirror match, I think, because he had a Hell Cannon and some Khorne Warriors instead of my Slaanesh Marauders, and a Hell Cannon had been squeezed in by basically dropping some bits here and there. Like, he didn't have extra hand weapons and halberds on the Chosen.
How many points is that?
For the extra, I think it's 1 point.
1 point, so like 26 points. Okay.
But then he's got 2 less Chosen, so that's all of a sudden they're 20 points each. That's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's 60 points saved there. The characters were running light. So, yeah, it saved a lot of points.
Because the Hell Cannons that I played were great. Well, really, really impressed by them.
So, Michael won the roll for the tower, put his Tzeentch Warriors in there. I tried to charge with my Chosen and failed. Needed a 6, rolled a 5. Then he Hell Cannoned me. I'd made a mistake on deployment anyway. I'd put my warriors in the wrong place, meaning that when I could put my characters down, I'm thinking I can't have them on the right flank, they need to go on the left. And I ended up putting them on the left anyway in the Marauders, where they should have gone in the Warriors with a +1 leadership banner to give the Chosen leadership 9. So he Hell Cannons the Chosen. I failed my panic test. I didn't roll a 9. Well, it's -1, so I didn't roll an 8 anyway. I rolled like a 9 or a 10. Mm-hmm. You get a re-roll for the Will of the Gods, which I hadn't used all weekend, and I've just realised in that game. But I don't think it mattered. I think every time I failed a panic test, it was failed on a re-roll anyway. Right. It's a BSB. But this one failed the re-roll with the BSB. Or with
I'm assuming
the
you still only get the 1 re-roll, don't you?
Yeah. Yes, still only re-roll once. Failed the re-roll again. Wouldn't have mattered if my general was in the Warriors, and they ran off through a War Shrine, which also ran off the table. So I've, you know what I mean? I'm down badly. Chosen rally. I gateway the Hell Cannon for the second time. Still don't kill it. He's let it off both times. Not killed it. And he Hell Cannons the Chosen off the board. Another re-roll failed. Again, it wouldn't have mattered if my general was in the Warriors, because the leadership wouldn't have mattered. It was like 10 and 10 and gone, 700 points. So after that, I just threw everything at him, just because it only matters if I get victory points.
Yeah.
Just try and get some victory points from somewhere. I got his 2 War Shrines and the Hell Cannon, that was a lot, and he took everything off.
Tabled you?
Yeah, tabled me. To be fair, it probably shouldn't have tabled me. If I'd have backed off, I could have kept loads of stuff alive, but then I thought there's no point. Just throw everything in.
Yeah, but you're still, like, losing the Chosen still puts you in. So you lost the Chosen?
I've lost the Chosen, which is 700 points. Yeah. I lost the War Shrine, which is 8. That makes
830.
8, yeah, about 8. Just over 800 points. Plus he's in the tower. That's 1,200. So he's winning by 2,000, and I've got the Hell Cannon.
You're already in the massacre.
Yeah,
bracket,
so it didn't matter. All that mattered was what extra victory points I could score, and I gave it a go and just threw everything in trying to kill stuff and lost it all.
I was going to say, with that, Biggs is still getting his 5k, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even to the point of my level 4 on a disc was being followed around by his level 2 on a disc, and he had the blood curdling roar, and he was just like screaming at me every turn. I'm like, well, I could fly into a unit or something, but no point. I'll just fly around trying to gateway stuff and then trust in the ward save.
Yeah.
And even the level 4 went down in the last turn. So, well. It's just one of those games where, you know what I mean, it was all over turn 1. It was all over, really, when he rolled the dice for the start. And he won the tower.
Yeah.
If I'd have won the tower, it could have been a world of difference. Well, it wouldn't have been, really. All that would have been difference was he'd have bombed the Warriors out of the building turn 1 instead of bombing the Chosen off the board.
Yeah. That's the thing. There's a lot of stuff out there that I was sort of thinking about it yesterday. How do you get them out of a building?
The steadfast in a building is just insane.
Yeah. You know, Chaos Warriors, Bloodletters.
Anything. Leadership 9 with a reroll.
Yeah, but stuff like that, you just struggle to win the combat.
Yes.
To even try and force
yeah, of course you do.
The test.
Yeah. Mate, Khorne Warriors in a building with halberds, you're never going to get them anywhere, are you?
No. And you wouldn't even need many, would you?
No. So that was the tournament done and dusted. So onto the placings.
Yes.
First place, Luke McHugh with Dark
Luke
Elves.
McHugh, yeah.
So congratulations to Luke. First podium, I think.
I think he sat on table 1 all Sunday as well. Do you know what I mean? He did really, really well. Really well.
Yeah. Second place, Russ Veal with Vampires. Lost his first one and then came flying back with 5,000 in game 2, 5,000 in game 3, 5,000 in game 4, 5,000 in game 5, and just a big 4,700 in game 6.
It was big as he to beat him in the first round.
Was it?
Yep.
So, yeah. And then AD Mac in third place, sneaking up with 2 big wins.
Played Adam
2 big
Hall
wins on
twice.
Sunday, and then a sort of a large win on game 3 on Sunday. But yeah, played Adam Hall twice. By the looks of this, he's had 2 draws and 4 wins. Rest of the top 10's rounded out by Al Thompson, Vampires, Michael Biggs, Warriors, Dan Heelan, Lizards, Matt Howley, Warriors, Paul Bridge, Demons, James Esland, Dark Elves, and John Broom, Vampires. So it is literally Dark Elves, Vampires, Warriors, Lizards, Demons, and the odd Bretonian jumping up there.
No Skaven, though, this time.
No, which is an odd one. Highest Skaven player was Chris Legg, 12th place, Skaven. And then John Warmington, 13th with Skaven. Fancy that, 13th Skaven. So, what do you think to the tournament overall?
Best Sports was also won by Luke McHugh.
Yeah, which is
so
quite
not
good.
only did he smash people, but he did it nicely. And Best Painted was Steve Wren with his lovely Awesome Goblin.
Yeah, long time coming that one's been. He's won a few in the past, but I think the Maelstrom one evaded him a couple of times.
Yes.
So, yeah, congrats to them guys. So yeah, tournament overall, what did you think?
I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Like I say, the game against Matt with the victory points was a bit of an odd one. Left a bit of a funny feeling. Like,
Wasn't you getting smashed anyway, even if you hadn't?
Absolutely. That's what I mean. If I'd have got the points, it would have made no difference to Matt getting his smashing, which he thoroughly deserved. It just meant that in a victory points based scoring system, I'd have got some more, which for going out there and trying to kill stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, other than that, it was grand. They had a bit of a spreadsheet fail.
Yeah, I think they did.
A bit unfortunate.
Also, one of the things, the big feedback on the forums seems to be the fact that a lot of people had to play the same opponent twice.
Yeah.
And especially twice in a row. So they played in game 5, had a draw,
Yeah.
and then played again in game 6 because they wouldn't let them swap tables, which is very odd. We've not seen that before in the UK. You just don't hear of it.
You do towards the top.
Playing the same opponent twice in a row? I've never heard of that before. It's the first event I've seen where they've made them do that.
I'm sure you... Did we not do that at the GT? If you...
Not twice in a row. I'm sure if you played someone... If you
No, I mean in the last game. Because it was the last game that they wouldn't let people swap. See, I can understand, say, the top 5 tables, top however many tables.
Yep.
But when you're not letting people swap, who are 50th, I'm not sure.
It's very
about
odd.
that.
I don't like it at all. And to be honest, if it had happened to me, I'd have probably not gone back again for another tournament there until they changed it. No, don't like that one bit. But the rest of the event, top notch. Nothing.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could possibly say is the noise in the place. Low ceilings, 100 players. It does get loud.
It does get loud,
But,
yeah.
a great event,
Yeah.
well run. The bar areas added a load to the venue. I think.
Yeah. It's made so much, like you say,
You can get
it's loud
downstairs, peace and quiet.
Yeah, you can split from the herd effectively, can't you? Especially in the summer, because there's quite a large area outside, isn't there, where it'd be nice just to sort of sit.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to going now, summer one. Hopefully by the summer they'll have the patio area done. Should be good.
Yeah, it should. It's coming along in leaps and bounds, isn't it?
But yeah, really enjoyed this weekend. I'd definitely recommend going to one of the incursion events at Maelstrom.
Yeah.
So look out for the next one. I think is a doubles event in February, isn't it?
Is it not the February the teams one?
There's a teams event which isn't a Maelstrom incursion event.
Okay.
The next spring incursion is doubles. I think it's Feb. It might be March.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what it said on the Maelstrom. They've got an events list for the year.
All right.
So, yeah, keep
All right.
an eye out for that.
I thought all the incursions would be single player ones. Oh,
So
fair
did
enough.
I, but
Yeah.
apparently not. But they might have changed it, but that's what it said on the rules, the events form I was reading this morning.
All right. Okay. Well, that'd
Okay,
be quite
so
interesting.
anything else to add about this one? Or
No. No, not really. Had a grand time. 6 good opponents. good bar, good food. Well, actually, no, shit food.
You didn't like the food?
No, the bloody takeaway we had on Saturday night.
Oh, Saturday night.
Oh, it was rank.
Yeah, that's not really Maelstrom's fault.
No,
is it?
not at all.
Takeaway. So. Okay, well, we're going to go for another short break, and then when we come back, we're going to come and wrap up the show.
Okay.
Once upon a time, there was a guy named Oggy. Oggy loved nothing more than to go to a Warhammer tournament on a Saturday afternoon. He'd got his lovely army all ready to go, all purchased from the Og Games web store. And he'd even lined up his first 8th edition Warhammer event. The day of the tournament came, and it was horrible. He got smashed in every single game. It was all too much. Oggy was ready to give in. He'd had enough. He didn't want to play this silly game anymore. It was going to be an epic rage quit. And then the voices started.
Oggy, Oggy, embrace the filth. Oggy, embrace the filth.
It was like a switch had been flipped. Oggy was a new gamer. He headed straight to the Og Games web store, oggames.co.uk, and he created his armies of mass destruction. And the best thing was, they were all at 15% off. So head on over to oggames.co.uk, where you can get anything you need from the Games Workshop universe at 15% off. They also have a huge range of products that can satisfy all your wargaming needs. That's oggames.co.uk. Okay, so that's another episode in the bag, and it's going to be the last one before Christmas, isn't it?
More than likely, unless we do some few little specials over Christmas.
Next one will be up on New Year's Day, hopefully, unless something gets in the way.
I'd quite like to do a sort of season review.
Well, we'll do that. Next episode then, season review, going to be available on New Year's Day. We'll get it recorded between Christmas and New Year, hopefully. We'll see if we can get some special guests on. We might be able to.
You playing Warhammer tonight?
I'm not sure yet. I'm feeling a bit rough, a bit croaky, so might do, might not. Are you playing tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you playing?
Mr. Hall.
Empire
versus Skaven.
Empire versus Skaven. Nice, good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Gonna kill me an abomination.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Well, anything else you want to add before we wrap up?
Nope. Merry Christmas for everyone, I suppose, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, I think I've got a few bits I want to add.
Oh, okay.
Been busy in December with bonus content, so Destruction Derby is an hour's worth from there. And then from Maelstrom this weekend is also an hour's worth.
I'm not on that, though.
Neither of them have got us on it much. Well, obviously we're doing the interviews, but it's more with players at the event, because you hear about us in the main show. So you want to hear what the guys at the event think of it and what they've been using. You can check that out. The Maelstrom one was pretty good. We had the second Ben Diesel interview.
Ben Diesel.
Who else was on it? We had Guns from Mankins HQ. We had Paul Bridge.
Yeah.
A few other guys. Yeah, it was a good day, good weekend recording. So yeah, I'm happy to get that out. That'll be up there as soon as you hear this, really. So check it out on the Snake Eyes section. And that's all for now, I think, folks. Thanks for listening. Have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we'll see you again in 2011.
Blimey, 2011.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
The preceding podcast was brought to you by Ben and Ben Productions. If you actually enjoyed the show and feel the need to tell other people about it, you can leave a positive review on iTunes. You can contact both your hosts at thebens@baddice.co.uk, or you can contact us individually on Ben Curry at baddice.co.uk or Ben Johnson at baddice.co.uk. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Bad Dice Podcast.